Hello there.
We're live.
We're
I looked up and we're
live.
live.
I'm back.
I'm back. And this
Do you
is the
miss me?
new. No. No, it's actually a lot more efficient. We got the show done in. There was one actually. I waffled on. I think I got better doing it on my own. Because how many weekends how many weeks are you away? 2, 3?
I think it was 3. Well, one of them you also were on vacation, and
Oh
then
yes,
I
that's right.
was once in Croatia and once in Italy.
What news do
Yeah.
you bear?
And I couldn't see AI because I'm kidding. I was token maxing from a boat.
From a boat. Oh,
Yeah.
let me know if I'm peaking because this is the new setup. Am I
Well,
peaking? Am I something
you're
happening?
not peeking, but I can hear you touching the microphone. I can hear. Yeah. Okay, that's annoying. Like
I'll try. I
everybody
might
has
have to put
left.
it down. I might have to put it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry. So you're token maxing from a boat?
Yeah. I was just, remote control using my phone to connect to my laptop and doing some design work done.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I feel like the show got easier as the weeks went on, because the first time I was like, just get it done or whatever. The second time I was actually I think I spoke for like 2 hours, nearly 2 hours, just on my own. Not on my own.
Wow.
Obviously, I had chat, but
Speaking of chat, we have chat.
Give me two. When did it get released? When was it released? Was it released today? I think I would probably point this towards my channel, because was it released today? Void. I'm curious. We normally prep for these shows since the last couple of hours. So anything that happens online in these last 2 hours, we miss.
Yeah.
Which oftentimes is really annoying, to be honest. Yeah, it was already
Kimi
available.
Code.
I'm going to use my voice, so bear with me. Kimi K2.7. I mean, Thing is, we spoke about the deep suite benchmarks. Come on, I don't want to. That's a really. I just saw the pop up that you got, the Kimi code pop up that you can't dismiss. You have to say get started, and it takes you to another page. It's really annoying. Kimi K2.7 code is now available. Well, should we just quickly go through it whilst we've got Void on the line?
Yeah.
Share screen. Kimi K2.7. Just these are hip shots, boys and girls. These are hip shots. Nothing I've done any research. So Kimi code. This is not what we want. Kimi code is actually just their Claude code. Come on.
Yeah.
Their Claude code thing. So I don't know why it's taking me to here. Let's go.
Can you also zoom in?
No. Well, let me find what we need to look for. I'm specifically looking. They've done some back button hijacking there as well. Oh no, sorry. It opened up in a new window. I am looking for news. That's what I'm looking for. Share this tab. Moonshot AI research. Oh my god, they keep opening up in new windows all the time. Kimi K2. It's not even available on their website. Look, Kimi K2.6. You're well early.
That's
mate.
how early we are.
That's how crazy early you are. Let's go Kimi, and then it just opens up in this. Do I have it? I don't even have it here. How do we even see this? You got any links there, Void? Because I'm struggling to actually find a press release on it. A press release. That's what I'm looking for. I'm on the docs. Try Kimi. Try now. Kimi K2.7 Yeah, it keeps just any mention of it sends me through to the Kimi code thing, unless it's only. Yeah, let's skip it and if you can get us a link to a thing. Hang on, is this me? Oh no, you look like you were totally frozen. Then I was like, hang on, I haven't heard from you in a while,
No.
and you looked
Yeah,
completely frozen.
bro, like this is so me. Like I get this comment all the time. I focus.
What, that you freeze?
Yeah, I focus so bad that people think I
What were
don't
you
even
looking at?
blink. I was just preparing the hyperframes tab for the show.
Okay, well, let's skip the Kimmy stuff until Void can get us like a link or something. We'll go over it, unless you can find something, or I'll find something when you're talking or whatever. Well, yeah, actually, that was a comment we got on one of our videos that someone like. We're all guilty of it, I think. But when you're talking about something, I've forgotten what you're talking about. It's something to do with Webflow, and someone left a comment saying the disparity of enthusiasm. Your energy was like super high, and my energy was apparently super low. Clearly, they've only seen one video and saying that there's an issue with this, and that it should be corrected. Just as a point, if you commonly see something happening over and over again, then maybe point it out. If you just see it once, don't just assume that it's just going to be, this is the way it is. And I just corrected him. I said, like, I was actually working whilst you were taking the lead, and that was why.
Yeah, that's how we do it. And yeah, sometimes I also zone out when you talk
When I
about
talk.
something all the time.
Yeah. I'm gonna eat a biscuit.
What is that? I could. I can hear every crunch. Okay, welcome to the ASMR. Okay, so we have a long list to go about, and people probably think it's the week of only Fable.
Indeed. We got more, except Kimi K2.7. Do you want to do the intro and then we'll?
Yeah, I was writing the intro because there is not like many things that are intro, like crazy intro worthy, but there are topics anyway. So let's just go about it. So this week we had WWDC, Apple's developer conference. There were really interesting stuff, and we had a big model drop, Fable 5 from Anthropic. All of this and quite a few other topics in today's episode. This is Cmd+AI. I'm Kabarza.
And I am Sam, and this is a week in AI, design, and dev. I really need to get a jingle. You know, I built an app whilst just because I wanted to generate music, and I have access to Minimax coding stuff because they sponsor me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to build an app that I can just generate music because they have actually a music endpoint. But their endpoint that they've released, and I've tried telling them about it, but their endpoint they've released has a like 1 minute maximum thing that if it doesn't get a response within a minute, then it's just not going to work. I've told them about it, doesn't work. When I get my little app working that generates music, I'm going to generate us a little jingle. A little jingle.
You don't want to even Google search like a jingle sound. You want to make an app that makes that.
Well, yeah, because I want to, I want specific types of jingles, and I want
customization.
Customization, baby, customization.
Yeah, that's the new SaaS.
Anyway, Yeah, exactly. That's the new stash. Let's kick things off. I forgot you dramatically reduced the list, but let's kick things off with an article I found. It
Yes.
seems like I can't share links here. What? Maybe fake the link, put like brackets and the word dot where there's a dot or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
How much value is AI really creating? This is an article from the Financial Times, which has got some really interesting points, which basically goes over the fact that is AI actually is there a return on investment, which I think we're all wondering about. We're all still, we're all building apps with our Claude Max plans and all the rest of it, but are we actually seeing a return? So
this is for
this
the
is
AI haters out there.
yeah, yeah. Well, I will say I don't think as with all things, and this is something I've really noticed recently, AI does like to summarize things, and it doesn't do a great job at summarizing things, as Apple found out like a couple of years ago when they actually banned their AI summary from news. You'd be surprised how bad AI is at actually, giving you and summarizing information when you actually go and look into it. This being one of those points. It's just a subtle change, but we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Sorry. So one particular point, the conversation about AI's usefulness has matured considerably.
Can you zoom in, please? Sorry to
sorry.
cut you off, and then start
right.
over. Like zoom in. Yeah, now.
The conversation about AI usefulness has matured considerably over the past year. Outright denial of its capabilities has diminished as more people have seen for themselves what it can do for their line of work. The battle is now over exactly how much value it proves. Fair to say, I think that we had a lot of haters. Oh, shout out 57 people. What the hell? Where are you guys? I think it's because your face is back. They're like, oh, we actually got to watch it now.
Yeah.
One particular point of tension between AI's boosters and detractors has been the disconnect between the reported increases in coders' output and the apparent lack of corresponding boom in product or value creation. MIT's Mert Demira and co-authors tracked software developers' work before and after they adopted AI tools. Coders created or edited almost 300% more files, but that boost was halved to 150% by the time they got to the number of discrete pieces of work submitted for review, and that in turn shrunk fivefold to roughly 30% uplift in the number of full software releases. This is where it starts to reveal itself, as and let's break this down for just a second, because I think this is a very misunderstood aspect to development and people who don't know how to code, right? Coders created and edited almost 300% more files. Do you know, this is a question to everyone, do you know, and I think we can all relate to this, do you know how much clarity you get from actually building something and then taking a step back and being like, oh, okay, and the desire to completely start from something from scratch, because it's like, oh, we now have a bigger picture, we know how all of these modules and everything works together, I can rebuild this in half the time and 10 times better because I just understand the architecture a lot more. I think we all can relate to the fact that when you get your hands dirty in something, you just understand it that little bit better, and you can, let's say, for example, you probably have got, I don't know, actually, you're not of the Photoshop era, but have you ever worked in a Photoshop file or a Figma file or whatever for
Photoshop, I use
days,
Photoshop.
even Photoshop for days even, and then you lose all of your work, and then video, perfect, and then
video,
you're able to then create that video from scratch in half the time, because you know exactly what you're going to do. Right, you know exactly what you need to do. There's so much experimentation, some hurdles that you've overcome, blah 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 blah. it's the same in code, right? There's so many apps that I wish I could just start from scratch now, and it's like I know, like the what we thought we knew at the beginning of the project is now very different towards the end of the project.
Yeah.
Imagine that on steroids when you can use AI to set off five, variations of one app, and it's a click of a button just to delete that work. Like you've barely
I
lifted a
do 20.
finger. There we go. There we go, right? You do 20
Yeah.
versions, you barely lifted a finger, you become so detached. Half the reason why we don't rebuild stuff from scratch, or we used to not rebuild stuff from scratch, is merely because it's just so yes, you build it in half the time, but it's just so much effort. And also that you love what you build. Like you what's the sunk loss bias, maybe something around those lines, is that with AI now you don't become attached to the code that you write. You literally can just bin it, right? So when they
Yeah.
say 300% more files and whatever, don't disregard the fact that it is quite normal to then have that halved by the eventual steady release. That I don't think anything has necessarily changed there. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
it does. If you scroll down a little bit, also, I think the graphic makes it a bit easier to see.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It's the same point as
yeah,
above. Just
funnel.
just yeah, the visual thing. So uh, I did like one of the most ambitious Webflow projects I did, especially like early in my career. It was like my first big project for the heading animations. I remember I did like about 10 different animations in one page. For the background effect, it had a background effect. I remember exactly, I did 18. I did it manually, 1/8, 18 different versions. The work always has been like this. Like all the great work that you see has been put out there has been because the creator has done it either for that specific work multiple times, or in their past experience they've done it so often that now they can output something good. And now AI allows us to do that part faster, so you get this like draft uh, part of the work, which is this 300%, much faster. But I would say something that hasn't changed that much for me is when I look at the overall speed of things, AI hasn't made me much faster, because the speed an organization moves at, or an individual moves at, is the speed of decisions. Like it depends on how fast can you make your mind up about something until you can actually go to the next phase, that is publishing, that is doing the next thing, whatever it is. So you might create, like I might create 20 different versions of a UX flow, but I have to make a decision, and better it to be informed decision, before I can move to the next one. Does that make sense? Like I
Yeah.
can create a lot, but I can only output something like truly to the world if I make that decision. And you cannot really let AI to make these decisions. Like we are doing it, but that's where we see slop. This is where I see the difference between like human output and the AI output, that decision making. And to me, this chart is about that. A lot of output without decisions, just to explore, and then the humans make the decisions to output what's good.
Yeah, no, I agree, and even more so now with AI, because again, it's so low effort that the desire to then fill that space with even more, experimentation and learning and yeah, experiments, is tenfold. So
Yeah.
that being said, there's still a bit of the article to get through, but that's just all I'll say about that. Edited almost 300 lines per code, but then it was halved. We wouldn't do this before, but if we would, we could have. Like it's so beneficial to write experiments and create experiments and make mistakes to then have
Yeah.
that halved. Like this isn't to me an indicator of anything wrong. I mean, then we get into actually what actually gets in. This funnel
Yeah.
is now just this is a good thing. This funnel of, you know, more creating more files that then get reduced. You know, I think it's worth looking at the relative thing, but again, it's just not an apples for apples comparison. You know, it's slightly different. Blah blah blah. Modest gain once that work has passed through all of the human bottlenecks associated with reviewing and releasing production grade work. Now, this again is just not an apples to apples. However, I do appreciate that, you know, these are, well, this is the biggest point of this article. It's not talking about apps that you're releasing out into the world as an individual, right? It's talking, and that aren't being used, because, by the way, this is kind of the undertone of the whole thing, is that loads of apps are being created, but none of them are, you know, people aren't using them or whatever. It's actually more to do with inside of an organization, how much of the work that people are creating through their code, how much of that actually gets into the production version of the app. And there's a, you know, any good company will have a flow of checks and balances that take place in between all that, and then if something's wrong, it gets sent back, or if there's some code that's wrong, it will get sent back to the developer. This is kind of like normal par for course, as they say, when it comes to software development. It's not really, it's not talking about the influx of apps that are coming out. Saying, because this, by the way, this was the graph that got selected. This is what I saw getting shared around and stuff like that, and it says app releases. Again, this isn't a number of apps appearing on the App Store. This isn't number of, which, by the way, is fucking huge. This is just not what we're talking about here. The market increase in mobile app releases over the last year has not been accompanied by any increased downloads. Most of the new apps failed to capture even the modest audience. So I think that's, roughly what they're kind of saying is here, but the bulk of this article really leans on inside the organization. So here's where we get to the Uber stuff, like Uber CEO Dara blah blah blah. I don't know. Actually, I'm going to try and say that. Khosrow. Do you know how to say it?
He's Iranian, yes.
Okay, so I'll say his first name. You say the second name. Okay, Uber CEO Dara. No, you can't say it at the same time. You have to say it.
Yeah, but say no. Say it. Like I'm trying to.
Okay, go on. Oh, you're trying to teach me. Okay, what's it? Go on, say it again.
Khosrowshahi.
Khosrowshahi. Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi revealed the company had blown through its entire AI budget for 2026 in one quarter. I'll just say something on that as well. You give people some AI to play with during the most exciting time in AI, they're literally going to do so much stuff with it. Personal, private, they're going to play around with it. This isn't indicative of much. It's like kids in a candy store, basically. However, the sentiment is that it's getting very expensive. So they are planning to switch much of its AI use to lower cost models, reserving frontier tools for special use cases, pairing cheap open source AI agents with top end models acting as sporadic advisors delivered better results at much lower cost. And I think that's the play, to be honest. And I would even go as far as saying local AI might be the play of doing the grunt work, but then the frontier stuff is the Fables that's creating the plans. You had something to say on this point though when we were planning out. What were you going to say?
I have my my notes for the end, but basically what I said about Uber is that they can't point out to the features that they have been releasing lately. They can't connect the features they are releasing to the amount of tokens that they are using. So maybe their employees are just, as you said, like kids in the candy store. They are just using the tokens for whatever, like replying to an email, putting it or starting the dev server.
Exactly. Yeah. And people aren't trained. You're literally giving the keys to a digger, like a JCB or something like this, to someone who's just been riding go-karts. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a whole new paradigm that we're all trying to figure out, and the only way to figure it out is just by spending it on tokens. That's just the way it is. That's what it is. Again, this is unfair. This literally the first quarter that you could not choose a worse time for people to be like spunking their tokens on starting dev servers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it would not be unreasonable to see all of this as evidence that AI's capacity to deliver genuine value has been vastly exaggerated. And I do agree. However, as we've just discussed, there are plenty of other factors that they're not considering. I don't know what this guy does, if he's he kind of looks like a developer, to be honest, let's be honest. But yeah, it's hard to really trust someone in the media that they actually know what day-to-day development looks like. I always love drawing parallels to history. I love spotting the cyclical events that take place, that we're all standing on the shoulders of giants and this and that. So I highlighted this. In the case of electricity, and this is really interesting, in the late 19th and earliest 20th century. Sorry, I'm going to start that again. In the case of electricity in the late 19th and early 20th century, productivity gains were modest where factories simply replaced giant steam engines with giant electric motors, but left the rest of the machinery and layout unchanged. The boom arrived decades later when engineers fitted individual workstations with their own small motors. So, we've been given the key again. We've been given the keys to the JCB, and we're yet to kind of figure it out. And it might be a little bit later until we actually know what it is we're dealing with and where all of these fit. And speaking of Uber, they're going to be, maybe not so much anymore, but during these startup phases, there's this desire to move fast. So you're going to just use them everything max all the time, because you want to get stuff done quickly and to the best quality. Like, why would you sacrifice anything as a growing startup? Again, I'm not saying I agree with that consumerist attitude, but that's just the way it is in startups. They're literally just like, there's every incentive to move fast and win the race of whatever startup they're starting.
Yeah, but what are they trying to build? So in case of Uber, I could imagine like new features and maybe new services, new markets, things like this. But there are so many startups and apps that do, I don't know, like an invoicing app that you got. What do they want to do with millions of tokens? Do they want to build Netflix in the tool? Like, what do you need so many tokens for? As an individual, I understand I have like multiple ideas. I want to, pursue them. But as a company that has like a very clear vision and they have a tool, I don't know how many new features you need. And again, like on one side, you see these big firms create like using so many tokens to build whatever godly amount of features that probably nobody gonna use. Versus what we just talked about. You are building an app to create you some melodies because you don't want to use like an existing app. So on one side, people like big software is getting bigger. On the other side, you're not using big software at all because you want to have many of like composable little software that does what you want, exactly how you want it. And later on, you might just toss it in the bin.
So there's two aspects to that, and one of them is not really for us to say. There are going to be some startups out there that are going to be the Uber of, that old saying, we're the Uber of dog veterinary services, or we're the Uber of Thai brides, or something like
Tinder
this.
for horses.
Yeah, exactly right. So there's going to be plenty of startups out there who truly believe they're on the cutting edge of innovation when it comes to their product. We don't know who they are, whatever. What you just described then in the second part, which is more so, and where my belief lies when I talk about software, SaaS is dead, it's about, I think the future is in your own software. Maybe there are some data warehouses, which I think a lot of money is going to be in data warehouses and things like that. But the software itself is going to be built by the company themselves, by a very small dev team, and they are going to, ingress that data and use it for whatever they need to use it for. What that company does, I don't know. Maybe SaaS and whatever is going to be completely dead, and we're going to be building these AI, well, not even AI tools, sorry, this software to help vets run, or plumbers do their job, or all these, what do they call it, white collar, I think. That's where I believe we're going, and that's where I'm putting my bets, truthfully. So yes, you're right. It sounds like you're kind of in that position too, but there's going to be so many companies who do think they're on the cutting edge of innovation with a new SaaS product that they hope that we're all going to throw money at. But truthfully, I look at a piece of software and I think, how do I build that myself? And I often just build it myself, saving myself hundreds of dollars per year, per month, whatever it is. That's the way I look at things. I'm just like, well, I can just build that myself now, and slowly I think companies are going to be doing that, Does that make sense? Like there's two aspects to what you're saying there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm doing that as well. Like I'm building my own software. I'm just looking into like starting from a open source version of an LMS for like a course platform that I've been using and paying for. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay for this anymore because I want to do things with it that I can't. What should I do now? Pay them and not be able to do the things that I want? Fuck no, I'm gonna build my own, and it's going to take me, I don't know, next week I'll have it ready.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if it has bugs. Doesn't matter if it doesn't look or behave or certain ways that you don't want it. One, you fix those bugs in time anyway. Two, it's not a high security risk. It's just your little...
Yeah, and the point is also very often, this is what I'm seeing recently so much, is it doesn't, like my app doesn't need to do as much as the best app in the market. Fuck no. Like my app needs to do the things I want to do the way I want to do it. And 99.99% of the time, the apps that are out there are just overblown with features that I will never use. So why am I paying for those?
My website is going to be having a massive update literally before the show. I'm rewriting the content all around these things. I need to work on the copy a little bit more, but it is about why pay all this money for software that does part of what you need, and any features that you do want take months and months and months to get fixed, and you're perpetually bound to paying for that software for the life of your company. How about pay a small-ish upfront cost that's then software for the rest of your life that you own, and that if you want a new feature, you get exactly what you want within days, as opposed to potentially sometimes even months for a lot more money, So I think we're on the same page with it. So that's interesting discussion. I thought going into this article, I actually thought it was more about the amount of SaaS and whatever getting released, and it does touch on that, but realistically it's talking about the funnel of inside of organizations from code to release, how that is potentially being squished a little bit, or there's a concern around that. Underpinning all of that is like, what the fuck are they even building anyway? Why are they even trying?
So there was this interesting video from Primeagen saying that they will probably, like these companies will probably have something like AI credits for the team or like the individuals, and the goal of the companies will be to save money on these credits. So you as an individual, so you work for a company, you have like $10,000 worth of AI credit. If you use it, you can, but if you don't and save the company money, you might get all that money that you saved for your own pocket, but still get your work done. So I thought that that's also like an interesting idea that might come true.
Yeah, who knows? Very good incentivization. It really puts the power in the developers' hands. Do they want to buy themselves time, or do they want to buy themselves, or do they want to put money in their pocket? And it comes up. It's up to you, and that's all it's doing, is buying you time.
Yeah, but like I'm not really sure about the time. Like I'm not sure if AI can make you that much faster in every area. I understand, like it. I see AI as an enabler, but I don't see it as making me that much faster in every case. Because at the
Hmm.
end of the day, when it comes to the that last 10%, that's where you see, oh shit, like so many accumulated depth,
Hmm.
decision depth. That's like AI. So you let the AI to build whatever you are building or design whatever you are designing. It looks good at the start, but like at the very end, like at the 95% where you want to push it, that's where you see there's a depth,
Diminishing
and
returns.
yeah, there's a depth, like the decisions that you didn't make, you let the agent to do it, and now you have to deal with them. And you see, I see this everywhere. So it's not making me faster at the end, not that much, but it's making me faster at the start.
Yeah, and I think again that's probably what this article is trying to say. Really, like, is that actually speeding us up? Is it just creating a debt that we have to clean up later on? Is it
Yeah,
costing us X amount or whatever? So, but a nice analogy with electricity towards the end, saying we might just still be figuring this out.
yeah,
So
we are.
it's yeah, it's
We-
interesting.
yeah.
IPO.
Oh yeah, we got an IPO to talk about. So,
Holy Trinity. A trinity of there's probably more actually, to be fair, but
oh no, my
uh-oh.
browser doesn't let me share my screen.
Uh-oh. Oh, you got to quit.
Uh-oh. I hope not. What is
Let me sort my light while you do that.
mm, for some reason it doesn't recognize the app properly. Okay.
Might be a bit better, is it? Is it better? $60 people. How you doing? If you're on LinkedIn, if you're on LinkedIn, imagine. If you're on YouTube, give us a like. That would be lovely. Share this with your friends and family, and tell us why you're here. Tell us why you're here. We're trying to start up a community where we don't know what we're going to talk about, but like an insiders community where we can talk about AI, obviously, but whether it's like tools, techniques, something like that. Have I got a banner here? Here we go. Go to that URL and let us know what you would theoretically do inside of a community, whether you want to join it or not, what you theoretically want to learn about. Yeah. Fair play. We got a good mix of people from all over. If you are on Twitter, we primarily show this on YouTube, and throughout the week we release a bunch of clips and things like that, so you can catch up on what you might have missed. He's back.
So, and yeah, another I think this is like an issue with my agents. Like there was another instance of Chrome open, so I'm not sure if
Oh
the
yeah, I
start
got
of
it.
the show was, I don't know if it's like in the same file, in the same, if it will be uploaded or not, I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, we have, hi Austin. Hi. Great to see you here.
Who's Austin?
Well, we are working together on project. So he,
Ah,
yeah, well, he is, to be more precise, he's giving me a bunch of like Webflow work, like awesome projects to work on. Yeah,
good.
yeah, cool. Well, let me actually get this right here. So we will be talking about the IPO. A topic that I'm like less than the others to. I'm not really qualified to talk about this, but it's interesting. So
The reason why I gave you this one is because you're at least more interested in this stuff than what I am.
yeah,
How much more interested is yet to be decided, but
yeah, I am more interested. Yeah, we'll talk about it, about the whole thing. So, okay. So apparently, Anthropic has filed an IPO. Well, not exactly the IPO itself. It's a draft. They are like, you have to submit a draft first to the SEC, from what I understand, to do the IPO later this year. So they are officially doing this before OpenAI. And if you've been reading about this, there seemed to be like a race going on between SpaceX, even Google, I read, and OpenAI and Anthropic. So everybody is trying to get a lot of money, like private money, to to keep delivering us tokens so we can burn on nonsense software. It seems like, because these companies are burning money, and they are now. We see that Anthropic is filing this to go public. So something very interesting about it, I read that in March this year, Anthropic was worth 350 billion, but now they are worth almost a trillion.
yeah.
That's a significant growth. That's crazy. So what's really interesting to me is not just Anthropic going to do this IPO, it's also SpaceX. And like, what does SpaceX to do with Anthropic? So SpaceX, um, it was a space company, but not so much anymore, even though it sounds like it. They are an AI company because SpaceX owns XAI, which owns Twitter, and all of this, like Grok and everything. So Elon made a bet of buying a lot of compute, a lot of GPUs, setting up data centers. Funnily enough, the guy who accelerated the electric cars for the planet, he has these giant data centers, and because there is not enough electricity to draw from the grid, he's using gasoline generators to make the electricity for these like giant data centers. It's crazy. So SpaceX is going to do their IPO at $1.75 trillion. It's just insanity. Anthropic is going next, and OpenAI wants to do this ASAP as well. There is a race though, because there is just so much money available, and like if you are going to spend some money, you have like, I don't know, like you have like, I would guess like you have 500K in your bank account ready to spend. You don't have more, so you have to choose between these companies, and you probably will choose the one who goes to do the IPO first. You spend your money on that, and then there won't be as much money left in the market. That's the idea. And what's quite funny, it seems like Elon is trying to stick it to Sam Altman by working with, it's just a giant loop of like companies working with each other. So Google is buying $1 billion of compute per month from SpaceX, because Google owns about 100 billions of shares in SpaceX. So they are giving them a contract because they want to make their business look like it's booming, so they can go do a big IPO. Anthropic is also now in business with SpaceX because they don't have enough compute. So yeah, and at the same time they are in a race. It seems like funnily enough, OpenAI and Sam Altman are left alone. It seems like, at least to me, like that, because even like Apple, as we saw in WWDC, last year they were in business with OpenAI, and they had ChatGPT and Apple Intelligence that never came out. This year they are doing it with Google and with Gemini. And Microsoft is basically getting rid of everything OpenAI. So OpenAI is being left out alone, however you say that. And these other companies are like forming this basically a race for who can get the most money from the public. Yeah, so that's kind of like the news. I don't know if you have anything to add to this, but it's just a big insanity going on right now.
Well, maybe you'll be able to answer this, or maybe not, and maybe why I'm not so interested in it, right? Can we break down what an IPO is and what it means? Because to me, it feels like a bit of, in a nutshell, it feels like to me that they can't rely on investors anymore. So then they allow the public to buy a portion of their shares to effectively for you and I to invest in the company.
Yes, so IPO stands for initial public offering. So a company like SpaceX, for example, Elon Musk, for example, comes and forms SpaceX. It's his company, and he either puts money to in the company from his pocket, or he goes to a few private investors and he says like, okay, the company, I'm going to give you like 5% for $10 million, whatever, like, and then they make an evaluation of how much the company is valued at based on like a bunch of metrics, like how big the targeted the market that they are targeting is, how much, like what they can output and how much wins they can basically have in the future. But right now the company is losing money. Normally when you do this with private companies, with private investors, for example, if you come to me and say, hey, I want you to give me some money, what I want from you is to give me some assurance that I will get my money back somehow, or like, I will make a big profit there because you show me your numbers, you show me that you're expanding and you're building something. And this is what normally happens, but right now that's not the case. So I will get to your answer to your question in a second as well. Right now, as we know, all of these AI companies are literally burning money because they are giving away tokens, they are doing a lot of research, they are they are growing, but they are not making profits. They are losing money because the cost of the GPUs and the cost of like buying the hardware and doing the research is just so high that at the end of the day they are losing money. There is a hope, at least that's what they are trying to sell. So for example, Elon Musk comes and says, I have SpaceX and we're going to build like these data centers in the space, and the market is going to be this big and that big, and you'll make your money back. The crazy thing about it is that none of SpaceX is really making any money except for Starlink. So all different parts of it is losing like money big time. So it's like a small division that is kind of like fueling all of that. So they need money. They need more money to build more data centers. How do they get this money? Is by doing the IPO, public offering. So coming to you and saying like, we have this big opportunity, buy in now, and you'll be good in the future. And there, from what I understand, like SpaceX is offering like 5%, if I'm not mistaken, or like a really small percentage of the total company. So it's not like when they go public, it's not like you can buy the entire company. It's like a small portion of the company, but the whole company is valued at a very big number, 1.75 trillion. And normally that value is, it depends on your numbers, but right now it's extremely inflated. Like it's like I think, if I'm not mistaken, like 100 times more inflated than a normal business. So that's the risk that comes with it. That means if you buy this, you are being promised this 100x growth that might never happen.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Because at 1.5 trillion, like, where can it go from there? And if I understand this correctly, if say we go in at 1.5 trillion, but actually by the next year it goes actually down to half a billion or whatever, then our investment is smaller. Then it's like, I'm trying to think of like an analogy.
So you pay $100 and you buy a portion of SpaceX or whatever, one of these companies, and then it tanks. Like, you buy it at a 1 billion evaluation, and then the company goes to $500 million next year. So your $100 is now worth just $50, because if you want to sell it and take your money out, the amount that you sell it for is half the amount you buy it, and that's basically how it is. And there is this big worry that these companies will tank because it's uncertain. A bubble.
Yeah. And like, going in at like I say, going in at 1.5 trillion, like, I can't see how it's going to grow from there. It's already so big. But there must be a good reason for them to want that company valued at that amount.
Not really. Not like, there is not that's the point. Like every video, every video that I watch about analyzing this is like, there is no reason. They are just like inflating the numbers. And again, like, Google is buying compute from SpaceX because Elon got more GPUs. But they have a big incentive to do this because they own 100 billion. So they make the business look better, and the contract that they have can be terminated within 90 days. So that's not really, like, if you buy into SpaceX because they have a $1 billion contract, you need to know that contract can be terminated within 90 days. That's not safety for you. That's not safety for your money.
And all this we said, and this isn't going to turn into some sort of financial thing, or again, we're not qualifiers, it's not financial information. Like, the point of all this that interests me is, personally, I've invested in a few companies that I thought would do really well. Tesla, invested in Tesla because I thought it would do really well. They did fantastically, and then I sold because I made a bit of money off of how I don't know if you remember in 2020, like, Tesla went fucking massive. I would not recommend investing in individual stocks, because this is what you've just described is exactly the difficulty with investing in individual stocks. You do not know, or you might, there are so many aspects outside of your control that, unless you're really well versed on the intricacies of what an impact of one thing might impact another, this is the sort of knowledge that you should have when you're investing in an individual company, like, properly. You put all your eggs in that basket to say, because of X, Y, and Z, I think they're going to do really well. The reason where I'm interested in is where this SpaceX IPO is, they are forcing some of these. So I'm in index funds. All that to say that I invest in index funds, which is a selection. Someone else is doing all the selection of who to invest in and why. There's algorithms out there, and Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, says, like, he would put all his money in an index fund if he if he could go back, or if he could advise anyone. Index funds are the way to do it. So you don't have control. You have where your kind of money, which industries you invest in, but you don't really have control of the individual stocks. SpaceX, because they're valued so high, a lot of these different index funds, because there's tons of index funds, S&P 500, S&P 100, NASDAQ, all of these index funds, they're eager to get such a valuable company. Well, S&P 500 is different. NASDAQ are eager to get SpaceX part of their roster because it's looking really tempting. That a lot of people are going to want to invest in SpaceX through their index funds, and they think it looks attractive. So they're bending some of their rules that they have in place. What normally happens is if you IPO, you join an index fund, your performance is then managed, or your performance is then reviewed after a year, and then you actually get let into it, right? Then you get let into it, and then they'll start putting money in, because IPO is short for something like extremely fucking overvalued.
Volatile.
It's got overvalued.
Yeah.
It's something like that. Often companies are overvalued when they IPO, so that's why they have that period.
Yeah, they make it nice. They IPO at the best time.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. When it looks good. So so these index funds are changing their rules to get SpaceX earlier, down to like 6 months, down to like 3 weeks, when they haven't proven themselves to be a worthwhile company to invest in, because they haven't got that track record, they haven't got that year, 6 months. And they're looking to bend their rules, and people's money, which they have no control over, could be going into a company that could completely collapse, and then they've lost all that money. And the reason why you go for index funds is you go into index funds for stability. You want that reliability. Luckily, the S&P 500 aren't budging from their 12-month kind of review period. So that's good, and it's not confirmed that it's going to be the case. Other thing to rest assured is only a small percentage, something like 5% or something like that, actually gets bought into the index fund. So it's going to have a very minimal impact on your overall portfolio in that index fund. However, it's a slippery slope. However, it's just unnerving to people who want that predictability. So there's where my interest lies in all of this stuff. I'm not ignorant to individual stocks and IPO and stuff like that. It's just I don't play that game. I don't play that game. I just I invest in index funds, and I'm done with it.
But it's quite funny to think about it. If you buy into SpaceX, you're buying a piece of Twitter.
Yeah, I know. And I saw in their own blog, maybe it was Cursors, but in an official blog, SpaceX.
Cursor as well.
SpaceX AI. I saw the name as SpaceX AI. So I don't know whether they changed it, or whether they're going to change it, or whether that's just a typo. Man. But it's it's crazy. It's crazy to think that.
Well, I am Kabarza AI.
Kabarza AI. I'm Sam AI. AI Sam. Yeah. Anything else on
that? No, not really. None of this is financial advice.
Exactly. Yeah. I could talk your ear off about, like, I'm a big nerd when it comes to like savings and whatever and that, but startup stuff is a bit, bit loose on that one. I did find some stuff on Kimi K2.7 whilst you were doing that, so let's quickly go over that before we continue on with the show. Only a tweet, so I wouldn't get too excited. But Kimi K2.7 Code. Okay, so it's a special. It's not Kimi K2.7. It's actually Kimi K2.7 Code, which makes sense why they're trying to push you to use Kimi Code. Our latest coding model is now released and open sourced, which is great. I'm going to be looking at this on Hugging Face. Improved a coding agent over 2.6, 21.8% on Kimi Code Bench, 11% on Program. By the way, there's some benchmark comparisons we can look at in a sec, but Program Bench, 31.5 on MS Bench Lite. Reasoning, less overthinking with 30% lower reasoning token usage compared to Kimi 2.6, and long horizon coding. All of the stuff you'd expect. 6 times high speed mode coming soon. I had a brainwave today. It's like when I know I'm going to have a light day coding, whack on fast mode. Like, why am I waiting around if I know I'm just going to be touching a few bits of app, and I'm not like on a full-time job. When I do dip in code, why am I wasting my time? Like, fucking stick on fast mode. 6 times high speed is pretty good though, isn't it?
How does it
So
compare though? I really
how
want
does
to
it?
see this.
Well, Kabarza, I'm glad you asked. Here are the benchmarks. Not particularly Kimi Code bench, their own benchmarks, which, at least they're not saying it's up here, compared to, you can see this, right? You can see this pop up of the, I'm looking at it on the stream. But yeah, again, we've got to remind ourselves these are open source models. So these are, even though it's behind, we need to give them benefit of the doubt. Program bench, again, I think it's just a roughly 5-10% increase from Kimi K2.6. Not beating any of the frontier models, but it's still going pretty good. Those are the benchmarks that we have. Now, anything else? Kimi Code. I might actually open that in a new tab, and actually, let's have a look. Oh, it takes you through to that page that we kept getting. So this is, and this looks like, I think before they were using Gemini CLI, but this looks bespoke. So I might actually have a little play with that. Back to here, but yeah. So I'm gonna look at it on Hugging Face as well. The thing that and this is a narrative that I haven't quite discussed yet on my own channel, but we know that Cursor's Composer 2.5 was trained off of Kimi K2.5. So they take an open source model, trained it with retrained it with reinforced learning and stuff like that, and they got a really good coding model out of it. So that tells me Kimi is a really good starting point for a coding model. And what I really want to get into, so stay tuned for this, I want to get into and see how feasible it is to train a custom agent on my product or my code stack. Maybe like Webflow as an example. Let's train a Webflow agent that fucking knows Webflow so well, and you base the source model off of Kimi K 2.5 because Cursor have already done the research there. They didn't take Minimax, they didn't take GLM, they took Kimi and they trained Compose, and they got some really good results out of that. So it's a good base model for this. So that all to say that I do want to get into training models, and Kimi K 2.5 seems like or Kimi even seems like a good model to get that off. I was going to see, I always forget how to look at this, like the file size. No, this all breaks it up. I just want to see how big the thing is. File info. Here we go. Can I run this on my machine is the question. Oh gosh.
On the new M5 Ultra Max Pro.
Total size. Okay. I'm guessing that's in bytes. Yeah, this is all... What's all going on here? Should I download it? See what it says? Oh no, that's just one file. That's annoying. I will find out. 1.1 trillion parameters. So it's probably going to be probably about 250, 500 gigs, something like that. I want to find it. I do want to find it. Oh, there's been some quantizations already.
What about the left side? There was something. I'm not sure if it was the number you were looking for, but here, just scroll a little bit down, model summary. There.
Active 32 billion active parameters. This is quite good to go into actually. Yeah, so 32 billion active parameters. I saw somewhere that I think Claude has like 1 trillion active parameters or something fucking crazy. Like that's crazy. How. Yeah. Benchmarks. No, there is a way to look at the size of the model, like the actual. Why isn't this showing me the total? That's what I'm Or maybe we just do look at the
We as
quantization.
humans, we are really slow. We need to not think and ask AI to think for us.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
exactly. Exactly. I'm looking at the quantized version, how big the quantized version is right now. Downloads are not
What is the
tracked.
quantized version?
So the quantized version, this is the quantized version. It's quantized to 3.6 bit. And it means that they're just trying to remove what they believe to be superfluous knowledge from the model.
By
Stuff
the
that
way,
it
there
doesn't.
it is.
What?
Fits into 460 gigabyte memory.
Where are you looking? Oh yeah, there we go.
Just
Yeah,
there.
so 500. Yeah, there we go. So I do not have enough money, but this will load on a Mac Studio. Do you know what I mean? So that's pretty
You
cool.
need to have this much memory, like RAM.
There we go. Yes,
right?
RAM. Yep. Yeah.
It doesn't work if you do like share RAM thing with the SSD, no?
No. It needs to load in. You need enough. In the case of Macs, you need enough VRAM to support. Not only do you obviously need 460 gig of hard drive space, that's half a terabyte. So if you've got a 1 terabyte hard drive, that's already taking up half. Then you need, at least 512 gig. You need a 512 gig RAM and the only one to do that is a Mac Studio. The only the only Mac that allows you to do that is a Mac Studio.
I'm gonna look it up what that costs.
It's probably about 10 grand.
Wait, that has 96 gigabytes, so maybe I'm looking at the okay.
By the way, so here's a point. I looked, they're only selling 96 gig of RAM Mac Studios at the moment. So they're either looking to update or there's a weird holding back at the moment because of costs.
Maybe they are all sold
Maybe
out.
they're all sold. And as soon as I saw that, I freaked out, and that's when I put the order in for my MacBook because I'm like,
how much RAM do you have?
128.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And AI
16 or 14
14 inch.
Why do you go with the 14 inch?
I don't like it. I don't like how big and bulky and heavy it is. It's so nice having a little 14 inch that I can sit in bed with, do a bit of work, travel around with. And by the way, we've got the quantized version on the screen right now, which brings it down. So 460 gig on the quantized version. It's hard to even say, but on the unquantized version, you can imagine this to be quite big. So yeah, I think the quantized version, I think they had 3.6 was the biggest amount of quantization that they could have to get it onto consumer hardware, because you can't really get much more. Mac at 512 is probably the best you can get on consumer hardware. Then you start to get into real high end shit. So, and just to tell you as well, quantization, it starts at 16 point floating point, then it halves to 8, then it halves to 4, then it halves to 2, and that's kind of generally what you get. But they've obviously cut it a little bit, so they brought it down to 3.6 instead of 4. So yeah, all that to say, this is the one you're likely going to be running if you got that Mac Studio.
I see.
Yeah. Unless there must be a service out there where someone else is running the model and you're just using it. I'm not talking about Anthropic, who are doing the same thing, but then it's their bespoke closed source model. I'm talking about regular people just doing a network of computers that this model will run on or something. There must be something out there for that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there should be some. Yeah.
That you book it in or something like this. I don't know. Anyway. Kimi K2.7 Code is out. You get access to it. Let's actually do this. You get access to it through Kimi Code, their new CLI, which looks like it's been built from the ground up, and it starts at $15 a month. Kimi Code. looking like this. $19 per month. Sorry, that's if you spend it annually. It's 15, but yeah, $19 a month. So yeah, and you'll get a lot more usage out of it than Claude Code for sure. Cool.
Speaking of which, we have Apple first.
Apple, yeah. Jesus Christ, we're going slow today, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going slow.
Right, we need to pick up the pace. Or do we skip Apple? What do you reckon about Apple? Do we skip it?
I don't know.
We've got so much to get through.
Oh yeah, we have the Webflow thing.
We've only done 2. Right. Should we just do Apple?
Let's just quickly go through what I wanted to show. All right, so we just had WWDC, Apple's conference. Everybody, you've seen the videos. Everybody has been talking about it. Something that I haven't seen anyone talking about is the map. I really like this update. So for now, it is just for is it called fly-through? Something like this? Look what...
Flyover.
Look what they've done. So this is the normal map that you get, which is already quite impressive. And the flyover now gets this update for the supported cities and everything. Like, see how good this looks. So they are, I don't know, using some real photos, I guess, to maybe map this, create this like very, very rich 3D. Again, this is not for the like regular map, but I guess this is something that will happen sometime in the future. And I've been actually like thinking about this even before, and I'm just like, I was just thinking like, why nobody is doing this? Basically, well, I guess compute is the reason here. But like, we have so many images of the world, and we have these 3D maps. Can't we just just do it? And Apple's, it seems like, has started doing this, and it looks so good. So yeah. So
flyover is like a specific feature that only appears in landmarks like the Eiffel Tower. I'm guessing this is New York and whatever, where it just circles across the city and just navigates through the city. Look at the Grand Canyon one. I think it's Grand Canyon. It's somewhere. It's, if you go back in the video. Oh no, they haven't. Did they show it here?
No. I
go back to the video.
They did.
Go back to the stream. Rewind before this. It's only a little bit before this. It's literally, keep going. There. Oh, maybe
that's for the spatial. There. Yeah, spatial.
Oh, okay.
Thing. Yeah, it's not the map.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that was it. That'd been cool.
So they are creating this fake depth thing here. They've been doing this with the photos on you. Like, you literally have this with your photos on your phone that you take. You can create this fake depth. Now you have this in your Vision OS. And you can actually take panoramas with your iPhone and then use them as your workstation, whatever, like wallpaper when you are in your Vision OS.
That's really nice. That's really I would like a Vision OS. I feel like I would like one.
But everybody that has one, and like you watch the videos, they are like after a year of using it or not using it so much, they just use it for some entertainment because it's heavy, and the monitors that you get with this is not amazing. It's great for flights. So everybody's like, if you're on a flight, you bring your laptop with you, put this on, and then you have like a big monitor in front of you or like multiple. That's great. Honestly, I want it as well, but it's not that useful. Other things that we had in WWDC, what else did like capture your imagination?
I was going to ask you the same question.
So for me, I really like the photos, the photo edit thing, especially so you can do 3 things. Clean up that you could before as well, but it was so bad. There were memes about it, like people doing it with like their hand in front of their face and doing it with Samsung and with Apple, and Apple would just create something cringe, and Samsung was really good. So cleanup is there, and supposedly it's going to be better. Extend is really interesting, and I just want to do this 50 times. I want to try it. I want to take a picture and then press extend as many
Keep
times as
extending
possible.
outwards.
I want to see, like, will I get to the Mars or no at
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah.
You have this reframe that it has a really interesting UI that creates this like blur, but you can basically regenerate a photo that you never took.
So
Um,
the nerdy thing about that is that it uses the on-device AI to give you that blur and to
yeah,
give you a preview, and then when you hit OK, that's when it sends it off to their remote. What do they call it? Apple private server or whatever they call it. Then it uses the online model
yeah,
to then actually do all of the heavy-duty stuff.
yeah. Another interesting point of the whole conference, or not so interesting, was Siri AI. I know people are very excited about it. It's just making Siri, I guess, decent. But what was boring to me was that the whole when they were like showing it, you could see that they are like saying something and just waiting for Siri to kick in and give them a response. And often it was in text. I don't know why they were not doing as much voice as they were doing text in the conference. So I don't know. It looked boring, but I guess Siri is, which has Gemini underneath, is going to be better, but not for us because we are from Europe. I don't know how like, are you? You're
I'm
not from Europe,
waiting.
or
No, we're not Europe, but I'm waiting on my Siri AI on this machine here,
yeah.
my OpenClaw
So I'm
machine.
not getting it. I'm not getting Siri AI or like most of these AI things, I would say.
For now, they're working with the appropriate parties.
Yeah, let's see. So yeah, with Siri AI, it's just like everything you expect from a modern assistant. What's good, it's like Apple has the context, so it can like search your entire messages. But I'm not sure if it can do like WhatsApp. Can it search my WhatsApp messages, or does it have to be, Apple product, basically data? We don't know that yet, or I don't know. But yeah, that's interesting. Uh, Another few things that got me excited: Safari extensions. I don't use Safari, but I will give it a try. Like, if I want, there are so many times I want to make an extension for a specific thing that I want to do. Maybe I'll try Safari extensions, but I bet Google is coming up with something similar to this soon for Chrome as well. Why not? Um, Prompts to make shortcuts. So, the shortcut app that you have that you can do automation. So if you arrive at the gym, like, I don't know, like make my Apple Watch face this Apple Watch face, or start something. So these automations, you either have to make them from scratch, or you can actually download them from the internet as well, based on like templates other people have made. But now you can prompt them into existence. It makes so much sense. I'm surprised that they didn't have this with iPhone 16 already last year. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah, pretty good release. I mean, I'm just overall pleased about the general context awareness that you can either take a screenshot of the page, or not even take a screenshot, but ask Siri about the page. The thing that I got a video on this on my channel, but the thing that I was waiting for that I would like is like actual agentic capabilities on your iPhone or on your Mac, so it can do things like take an attached file and email it to someone, or do things across the experience, but it seems like it's going to be locked into the APIs that Apple give to you. I can't say. I mean, I can share, I can do manual processes, but I can't get the agent, or I can't get Siri to like do things put stuff in other apps and take action within other apps and use other apps. It's going to be probably limited to all of the Apple ecosystem stuff. But overall, like, I'm happy. I mean, the voice dictation is better, so RIP Whisperflow on iOS.
I was thinking about that. Yeah,
You can
we'll
change the
see.
voice as well, but that's not a big deal. But like, there'll be two variants that can run on your phone. There'll be like a small 3 billion parameter model. My guess is just for basic spell checking and definitions and basic lookups. There's not a lot you can really do reliably with a 3 billion parameter model. And then there'll be a 21 billion parameter model that's not mixture of experts. It's like mixture of sparse focus attention or something like this. Oh no, that's Minimax. Either way, they've got their way of activating 3 billion parameter models at a time with a specific expert in the field. So, but it's not quite mixture of experts. So, but only the iPhone 17 will get that, and
Yeah,
obviously M5 iPads and whatever. So and then it hands it off to like a bigger model. But saying that the voice is only available on the 17 Pro because for whatever reason, see, that's how bad a 3
more
billion
RAM.
parameter model is that it can't even change Siri's voice,
Yeah,
So God knows how useful it's going to be. And like I said to you before the show, like, it'll be interesting to know where the handoff point is, whether we can actually track that it's handing off to a bigger model, and then eventually it gets to the private cloud versions of the models, which, by the way, are all private. This is all privacy focused, which is quite nice, to be honest, but there will be limitations. Whether you're willing to sacrifice those limitations for the sake of privacy will be down to you. Basically, you vote with your wallet.
yeah, yeah. Last thing, Liquid Ass.
Oh
They
yeah.
they gave they made an update. Now you get a slider and you can change the amount of transparency you can make it almost completely opaque. It's very interesting because right before this happened, there was an article. I can't find the exact article, but basically a group of people, from what I read, they achieved like actual liquid glass for the web, basically working everywhere. um, so I again, like, I didn't find the exact article, but I did read it, and yeah, it seems like we have that pretty useless effect. It's not really useful, right? It's nice. It's like very impressive
Cool.
technically, but
Yeah. It's not
it's
usable.
not really
No
yeah,
one's
it's
going to
not
be
really
using
usable.
this. Maybe
Yeah,
less in, like, as Apple use it, in like little UI elements rather than actually these whatever they've got
maybe
going on
not in
here.
functional UI elements, but as an effect.
Well, I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying maybe we'll see it in functional UI.
Yeah, but
But
it's not functional. It's bad. Like, it's bad for readability. And when you
didn't stop
crank
Apple.
the
Didn't stop Apple.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, the guy who did this, we know he's now ruining Facebook. So yeah, whatever. Um, Liquid glass in the browser. I think this is like the. I'm not sure if that's the article. No, this is not the article that I read.
Looks
But
interesting though
yeah,
how they obviously came up with everything.
yeah, but apparently it's working now, because I remember at the start everybody was trying it, but it was only working with either filters that would not be supported in Safari or not on mobile. But now it's apparently working everywhere with good performance. Cool.
Very good.
Okay.
Webflow
Well,
dev
it
platform.
didn't take too long. But yeah.
Are you taking this one?
At least a start, because
Cool.
then you need to. So how? What is the intro?
Webflow have updated their developer platform, showing that they're
Yeah,
going all in on developers. I guess developers got
yeah.
the
Okay,
love.
so Webflow, yeah. So Webflow has updated their developers platform, putting all things developers in one page, essentially, like in one place to learn from. And like, I just want to share the site first, and then Sam, you will explain what this is, because I'm not really qualified here enough for this. So the site is really nice. Look at this animation. I'm a sucker for this. Like, look at this. This is so good. And this hover effect, it's really, really, really nice. And what this is essentially, this is developers.webflow.com. It's a new home for developers to learn about everything development with Webflow. So from APIs to Webflow Cloud apps, DevLink, their CLI. I want you to explain this a little bit to me, because I'm interested, but I don't know enough about it, what I can do with it, etc. Anyway, so that's the page, and I want to show this quick thing. This is like really fun. There is like a football you can play. So yeah,
Which is actually
this
really hard.
yeah yeah. Well, this is what you do when you have too many tokens.
I was going to say
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
definitely the work of a dev powered by AI.
Yeah, you have so many tokens you don't know what to do with. This is what you do. That,
Mm.
yeah. Anyway, so would you explain what this is? So like, I can copy this npm install Webflow CLI. What is this? What can I do with this?
So Webflow CLI allows you to basically manage aspects of your Webflow website from the command line. So you could
Hmm.
publish a website, you can take a page down, you can draft a post, you can create. I mean, I'm looked. Well, you can even go down if you click on CLI on the there you go on the left there. You can do all this sort of stuff that it shows you
Hmm.
there. So quite a nice, you can manage sites, assets, forms, things like this, CMS content, you can do all that sort of stuff, which is probably not linked to, but like the API will allow you to do a lot of this stuff too. So you can, not all of it, but a lot of it the API will allow you to do, which, what I was going to go on to say, which in turn is what the MCP allows you to do. Manage sites,
Okay.
take pages down, it's all just different. You're not going to use all of these things, but there'll be certain things you just like. You prefer the CLI or you prefer the MCP or whatever. So there's just a lovely choice of tools that allow you to interact with your website.
Can
The
I tell Claude to use the CLI?
the MCP, yes, you can. Yeah, you can ask Claude to use the CLI. Probably doesn't know much about it. You're probably gonna have to use some sort of like skill or download the source code if that's available. I'm not too
You can
sure, but
copy it. Here, this is what's really interesting.
yeah,
You
there we
can
go.
download or like copy everything here with at Webflow at developers.webflow.com as MD files.
There we go. So then you can
Yeah.
teach Claude how to use the CLI, so the CLI can then use it. You'll obviously have to be aware of what the CLI can actually do. It's not magic. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm able to transfer your Webflow website to another account. Might not be able to do that. You might be able to. Point is, it's like, it's not just a magic. All the agent's doing is doing stuff that you can already do either through the CLI, through the SDK, or through the API. That's all the agent is
Interesting.
doing for you. So different ways to interact with your website. On top of that as well, you've got things like DevLink and code components and Webflow Cloud and apps. So these are what would you even describe them as? Like tools that take advantage of Webflow features. Rather than managing your website, you can build code components from the command line. So not in the Webflow UI, outside of the Webflow UI. So I do wonder what the difference is between, and there is, I'm sure if I sat down and scratched my head, what the difference is between code components and DevLink, because code components are React components, or also DevLink is. So are they going to replace DevLink with code components? Are they going to keep them? There must be a reason why you would use one or the other.
So the idea with DevLink is you create it in Webflow and then export it from Webflow to an external React app, where the designer is the source of the truth, Webflow designer, and you, or like me as a designer, I control the component, and you as a developer, you pull it from Webflow. As with code components, it's the other way around.
Sort of the reverse,
like you as a developer, you build it, and then you publish it to Webflow, and then I can pull it from my component lists as a code component. But these are getting, as you guessed right, these are getting like really, it's like the mixed and foggy between them, because we already have also AI component gen, the naming.
Yeah. So that's just a way of creating code components, but through the Webflow interface. But
exactly.
Yeah. You'd think that they would abstract the technologies a little bit and just give you one DevLink API, let's call it, and then actually, if you're as a designer, if you say want to push your component down, you don't necessarily care whether it's code component or DevLink. You're just like, I push my component and my developer can pick that up, sort of thing.
Yeah.
That all being said, it's separate in as it currently is, but this hub gives you the ability just to learn about it and learn how to use those sorts of things. And obviously, if you dig in, it will probably give you a good, better, clear definition than what we've done about what those two separate, why they're separate, basically. And then of course, like the marketplace apps as well, which is the other one. So just an all-in-one place that, as a developer, that you're not really concerned with the Webflow side of things. You live in your IDE, you live in your terminal, and you can do things or publish things to your Webflow website to enable the team, basically. So the amount of effort that's gone into this hub shows that they're keen to support developers. Definitely feels like, it felt like for a moment that they were with Webflow Cloud. It just didn't feel like it was getting the love that it needed. Whereas I feel like this puts a little bit of a spotlight on Webflow Cloud, which, by the way, is really good. It's a really good technology. I don't know how many people are using it, but it can be very, very useful. People
Is
just
it
don't
mature
know about it.
enough? Webflow Cloud.
I mean, it's out of beta. I'm pretty sure it's out of beta. So you just upload an app. You just build an app. You should try it. You should try building just an app that you push to Webflow.
Well, I have many apps, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I want to push it to Webflow, because, like, if I'm making just a tiny app for myself, I'm actually putting it on Netlify or Vercel for free.
Yeah. Well, the
That's the
idea
thing.
is that you obviously, of course. The idea is that the app that you push feels seamless with the marketing website that exists around it. So it's not theoretically, yes, the whole app, the whole website could be your cool little app you've built, but it could be that you built a marketing website, advertising your new SaaS product, which is going to die to 3 to 6 months. You've got a little dashboard dashboard button at the top left or top right. You click on it, you log in, and that's your next app that you've built. And it's your dashboard or whatever
Seamless.
it is. Do you know what I mean? But it feels seamless.
You use the same components, like
well, that's where you would need DevLink to start using the same components and things like that, or code components and vice versa. Like, if the designer of the app and the experience, let's call it the experience, they've made the marketing website and they want to use some of the similar assets in the app, then they would expose those or give you access to them with DevLink. Saying that, oftentimes the marketing website, it just appeals to different people than the actual dashboard and app itself. But let's say, for example, you're a what do they call it when you like let's say you own a load of co-work spots, and then there's an experience where you can search all of your co-work spots like that. You want to feel quite integrated, so the actual searching of co-work spots and whatever. What's the word I'm looking for when you bring lots of stuff together? Like you're in Germany, so I wouldn't know any examples, but like you just bring lots of different companies together. Like if you know what I'm talking about, Zoopla, like they bring all of the different housing markets all together, and there's a word, it's a bloody word, never mind. You want
It's
the
like a
experience
listing.
like a list, kind of like there's a better word for it, but there's like a listing website, like Yellow Pages or whatever. You're bringing everything together. So you've got the marketing website. You want it to look the same as a front end experience that you can search and do all this complicated shit with. That could be a Astro or Next.js app that's the designer has designed all of the components that's given to you through DevLink, and then it's pushed back up into the experience through DevLink. So very, very powerful, very cool if you've got the right use case for it.
Yeah. Speaking of apps at Webflow, right now, if you want to make a new project in Webflow, this has been the case for like a few months now. When you click on new project, you get this site or app. They're pushing this quite a lot. Like, I don't make apps, I make sites, but whatever.
It's a platform,
and if you
baby.
and if you do a site, you get AI, template, or blank, which I like this. Yeah.
So we covered it last week, but Codex Sites got released and does what it says on the tin. You prompt something. It might be you're working on a report. You create a dashboard for it, and you can publish that to an internal link. It's very much internal. So if you're part of an organization, so it's not a public site, it's an internal site. Probably a bandwidth thing, to be honest. They're working with Webflow, and they're working with Lovable, and they're working with Replit. So this will be interesting to see. Like, I feel like some of these companies like Webflow and Replit and Lovable, they've kind of like dug their own grave, because it's like, by the way, I don't know how, you might know more, but I don't know how this all integrates. But it could be that you prompt everything in ChatGPT, and then there's the last publish step in by pushing up to Webflow. So it begs the question, why would you ever search new project, new app? You just stay in ChatGPT and publish it as a site on Webflow. So see what I'm saying? It's like, why live in Webflow when you can just do it all in ChatGPT if you've already got that subscription or whatever? But
it's all about control. Like
control.
So I have been testing like all of these new ways of building, and actually I want to make a video on this. I think I'm onto something. So doing a redesign using Claude Design, and then you know how you can export it to Claude Code. When you do the export, it just gives you like a link, api.claude something. So it's a link to that design file, or like that HTML file, whatever you have on Claude Design. You can directly in your terminal ask Claude to bring that to Webflow using the Webflow MCP. I tried that and it worked surprisingly well. Like under 1 hour of me not working, just like I gave it one prompt to redesign this website and then one other prompt to bring that website to Webflow. I had that website in Webflow. Obviously it's not like it's not bad. We'll
not
see.
Good either.
I'll show you some designs I've been doing with AI. I think they're quite decent. They are better than average designers. Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. They get the audience. You'll be the judge of that. You call me out if the design is shit.
It won't be shit.
Just say it.
It will just not be great. I've made a couple of videos on this. I've spoken about a lot of this, and there's going to be this Ship Studio video that comes out probably tomorrow now. I think you should watch it, where I just unleash a little bit on my thoughts on AI design. And like, I think we're thinking about it in the wrong way. I think we're thinking about AI. Don't get me wrong; it's fine, it's good, and it's good enough for a lot of people. Like I'm totally using AI design in a lot of my things, totally. But it's never going to satisfy designers because they're trying to place AI in the design workflow in the wrong areas. I think they're thinking that it needs to finish their design for them, and that's just the most inefficient way to do it. But yeah, check out the Ship Studio video that's going to go out tomorrow.
I will. Yeah, that I'm looking forward.
This is a bigger discussion, I think.
Yeah, so we'll get into this. I don't know how we cover this one. Is it separate or in the same video?
Just go into it. I mean, it's well, what do an intro and then I'll figure it out in the edit.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know. Let's think about an intro.
Should have done it without sharing the screen.
Yeah,
because it's a big surprise.
Well, you can control that later, right?
Not to our wonderful 73 live audience viewers. You've ruined the spot. We're here for them right now. Do you know what I mean?
I don't live in the moment. I live in the future. In the videos that haven't been published yet. So what would be a good intro for this? This is a bad news for developers, like Webflow developers, or is it?
Not necessarily. Obviously, well, I guess so, because he's obviously a great CTO.
Yeah. Okay, so something big has happened to the Webflow community, and this is probably a bad news for Webflow developers. Allan?
CTO?
Am I? Yeah, the ex-CTO of Webflow. He was the CTO of Webflow. He was, the guy who was shipping. It was all about shipping, just outputting work. He's now officially the CTO CEO. Well, okay. He is the CEO. Yeah. So he is now officially the CEO of Cloudflare. That's crazy. That nobody expected this. And this is, CEO. He is the Chief Engineering Officer. So practically CTO of Cloudflare. He was the CTO of Webflow, and now he's gone. It's quite funny knowing that, looking back, Webflow had so many collaboration with Cloudflare, and they just stole their CTO. Yeah. And now he's at Cloudflare.
And the valuations on these companies are very different.
Yeah.
By that I mean in favor of Cloudflare. Cloudflare is a huge, for our non-dev audience, Cloudflare are a huge company, a very important company that when they went down, probably 2 times last year, maybe 1 time this year, 1 time last year, the internet went down.
Yeah.
All of you, whenever your Webflow projects go down 404, it's because of Cloudflare. Like, they are huge.
Yeah, and CTO, that's... Well, he's gone. I searched on LinkedIn for CTO of Webflow. I didn't find anyone. Maybe I didn't search enough, but
they've not found you yet. You need to put in your job application. I hear you're looking for a CTO. Have you ever seen how I can start a dev server?
Yeah, just asking Fable on extra high to do it. So I actually did this, but I'll show why. So yeah, not a long video, but I don't know how to feel about it. I feel like Webflow community lost like a really important person who was all about developers. He was very technical, and he was very active in the community. Like, there were plenty of times where I said something in the community and he replied, or he, other community members would say something and he would send it to the team to take care of it. So he was very active, and it all happened very suddenly, and there is no explanation. I didn't see a post him saying
Maybe he
adios.
got locked out of his laptop.
Okay.
He woke up at 7 a.m. and he was, "Hey Linda, my laptop doesn't start. Have you fired me?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
when was his last tweet? June 11th.
So this is
Wrangler.
Cloudflare.
Yeah.
This is June 11th.
Dario. That's not.
This is about
that's
Webflow.
No. Oh, yeah. It's not directly about Webflow. Cloudflare. Green. Here we go. June 11th. 10th. I suppose he's still obviously going to support it. He's talking about career hacks here, so that might be top of mind. Speed Cloudflare ships. There you go. Cloudflare.
Yeah.
He's obviously still going to support Webflow. I do think he cared about Webflow seemingly from
He
the
did.
outside.
Yeah. I think he did as well. This is great
noticed,
for him. Like, this is a
noticed,
big jump.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
they are big. Saying that, I have noticed he's doing a lot of retweeting, which may be why I hadn't noticed, but I have noticed that he's been a lot more quiet on Twitter recently. Probably because he's probably a lot more busy, to be honest. Probably a lot more busy.
Yeah. So next time Webflow goes down or any other website on the internet, we know
Blame
who
Allan.
to go to.
Yeah, you can literally tag him when your Webflow website goes down, and it won't come across as weird. Because it would be weird if he didn't go. If he went to someone like, I don't know, Stripe, and then you tagged him about your Webflow website going. It's like, I don't fucking care. Now he can still care. Now he can still care.
Yeah. Well, either way, I don't see any tweet or any official explanation that, hey, I'm departing web. There are normally posts like this, especially for positions like this. No.
Yeah.
There are, like,
my
you
last
remember
day at
Emily?
Webflow. Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and Emily, you remember Emily? She was the head of community when she left. There was a big goodbye. They what was it like? I think a team, they made a website for her, like saying goodbye and so.
I mean, that makes sense because she was community.
Yeah, head of community,
but Allan was
even
pretty involved.
Allan was active in the community. That's my point. For how active he was, it's awfully quiet how he just left. And I don't know, it feels a bit strange because he left for Cloudflare knowing that they were so close with Cloud. It sounds a bit like they stole him.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Anyway, Allan, we will miss you. Yeah.
Cool. What's next? Anthropic, Claude. What's happened in Claude? Do you know what's happened in Claude?
I have no idea.
Apparently a new model or something like that.
Let's actually grab do they have like the actual page? Because
I've got it shared on my screen if you wanted just to share my screen.
This one?
No.
I want to get the one with the visuals.
Yes.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
You want to take on the intro and then I will show the stuff I've been doing with it.
I mean, I would use that as an intro that I just, didn't know. But so Claude Fable 5, a Mythos class agent from Anthropic, the great Mythos, has finally been bestowed upon us mere mortals. Thanks.
So, yeah, the naming is interesting. So we have Mythos and we have Fable. So all of this is not real. It is a bubble. Are they like playing with these words just to play with us?
What are you talking
That's
about?
what I'm thinking. Well, Mythos, it's a myth, right? And Fable, that's also,
okay.
I
haven't thought too much about the names, to be honest.
Fairy tale, it's all a fairy tale. None of this exists. So anyway, so this new model is out. It's been out for a few days. and I've been playing with it so much that I had to upgrade from Claude Pro the 5x to the 20x again, because this is burning through tokens.
I do have a
It's
hack for you, but wait until the end of this segment and I've got a hack how you can get more
okay.
Fable for less money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like that. Okay. So, do, do you want to continue? Because I want to show the stuff that I've been doing with it and the
Well,
comparison,
let's
but
go over the
I need
boring
you
stuff
to.
just to just go over the boring stuff. So, well, just to finish off the kind of like what this model is. They released Mythos and determined that it was too powerful for us mere mortals. It was, obviously could discover a lot of cybersecurity flaws, but then in turn could then create cybersecurity flaws. So this is a tuned version of Mythos that has more guardrails in place. So be careful what you're prompting. And they call it a Mythos class agent, and so that's how we've got to Fable, and that's why in the title it says Fable 5 and Mythos 5. They're one and the same thing. Fable just has more guardrails.
Yeah, and you know what happens if you're not careful with what you're prompting? You will be downgraded to Opus 4. So if you say,
That's what I'm saying.
build
yeah.
me an atomic bomb,
Yeah.
Fable will send you to Opus 4.8, and
But you can
4.8
convince it that you're building a nuclear bomb for the book that you're writing from fictional characters. So you can, it will be like, oh, okay, sorry, here you go, here's Fable. So you can convince it.
So you can say like, where can I get yellow cake?
What's that?
Yeah, you don't know what yellow cake is.
None.
I'm Iranian. I know what that is.
Is it
yellow
a bomb?
cake? Yellow cake is the uranium that you need for for the bomb.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should probably watch what we're saying live on YouTube right now. But
really,
yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You might have to cut this section out.
I see streamers making jokes about this all the time, but yeah,
they're edgy.
The yellow cake is also what it was in. Also in, I think it was in Big Bang Theory. Sheldon was trying to buy some. You don't know anyway. Okay, continuing with the show. So basically, Fable 5. They say it's Mythos 5, but with guardrails, and it's destroying everything else. In my testing, it's been pretty good. Not very token efficient. It's just burning through them, but it's been. I see the upgrade, and I've done some stuff. I can show it, and you see that it's actually, at least for design work, it's better.
One thing to note here is that you've got Mythos Preview, which scored 77.8% on the agentic coding, and then Mythos 5 is risen, 3 points, three and a bit points, whatever it is. Mythos was only released like a few weeks or a month ago, maybe, so they've already managed to squeeze more juice out of the same model, which is quite cool.
Yeah, and like the way they are comparing this to GPT 5.5, this is just like a huge jump. It seems like it. I haven't used 5.5 in the last month, so I don't know.
Because you've been away, right? Watch our Deep Sui video, because I cover this. I do cover this.
Fair, yeah. So the tool use is also quite higher than what GPT-5 can do. The legal agent benchmark. I don't know why these numbers are so low. What does it mean? What is 0%? Why is Gemini 3.1 Pro at 0%? I don't know. So a lot of these numbers to me are, I don't know. We should just ignore them, I would say, at this point. To me, they are not very interesting. Is there like an interesting number that you want to look into?
Well, all I really care about is agentic coding, and that's all. I mean, I like the GDPA benchmark, but it doesn't look like they put it up. Oh no, there, knowledge work, GDP val 1932. But yeah, again, it's a nice little glaze. It's nice to just look over the benchmarks and see how it's rating, and then you can make relative comparisons in your head. But beyond that, I think it's a perfect time to look into your examples.
Yeah. Okay. So you can cut this part down how you want in the video now. Okay. So I want to show you a few examples of what I've been doing with Fable 5. One of them is I finally gave hyperframes a try. So this is a video made by Fable 5. So you see all of this is animated.
This is hyperframes.
This is hyperframes.
Amazing.
This is hyperframes. So this video is essentially this. By the way, the design is not from Claude. This design is done by us. This is like human. This is my designer putting like actual work into this and making this design. Okay. And then I gave this design to Fable and I said, use hyperframes and, you know, make an animation and it should be this and this and that. And that's the output. I'll just play it once again. So it does this thing and then you see this hover. That's really nice. There's a click effect and there are like these really nice animations happening. And now I can export it as a video. There is a V2 version that I did and it's so bad. And it doesn't like work properly. Yeah, that like for maybe I'm using hyperframes wrong.
No.
And just to get an idea about hyperframes, you see like all of these are like your layers and everything you could add sound and everything you can change it manually or just ask your agent to do it and then you export it. Even the export you can do it agentically. There are assets, there is a code. So all of this is built as an HTML file and then I don't know, it's animated. And you can also use hyperframe with GSAP. So you can also use GSAP and hyperframes together, which I haven't yet, but that can be also
I thought it was
idea.
GSAP under the hood. I thought it was.
I'm not sure. I know I don't.
Do you remember what your prompt was? Can we see? Can we look at your prompt, please?
The thing is, I restarted everything.
Claude,
I don't think I
hyphen resume.
Resume, yeah. I can give me a second. I will. What is happening there? Isn't it just Claude -R?
Normally. Yeah, you got it here.
Okay, so here on the left side, I installed everything I needed for hyperframes. And my initial prompt, it was like there's a floating animation. It's really bad made.
Which is kind of indicative of how, you know. How
no, this is
prompt.
No, this is not my first prompt. So that's like down the road. But it was at the end of the day, it was like a few prompts, not too many. I'm quite surprised by it. Like the first prompt was working, like everything that you see was working. The only few things that I had to change was like this hover effect. I wanted it to be to have this hover effect on hover and then have a click effect. And then these, I wanted them to be in a specific way with this count up animation. They existed as a different type of transition. And then what's also really cool is you see this text that I have here, or like these pieces of text. I can just tell the agent to change them. So these in my design were mention, just the word mention. I told the agent, hey, use something that makes sense. I didn't even say use Webflow and LinkedIn. I just said use a word that makes more sense than mention. And it did. Anyway, so the point here being not hyperframe, it's, I would say, Fable doing a great job here. But you might be asking, but how does it compare to other agents, to other models? I'm glad you asked, because I
I didn't
have
ask, but whatever.
So, okay, so here I will zoom in a second, but just so you know, so what I'm going to show you is a comparison of design capabilities of Lovable, Opus 4.7, Fable 5, and the Figma new update, Figma agents. Okay, so this is our starting point. This is what we had in Lovable. This is an output from Lovable. It's quite messy. It's at the glance you might say that's not a bad design, but if you read the text, well, it's German, but if you read the text, it's two sections put like next to one another. It shouldn't be like this. Anyway, our focus is on this left side information, and I gave my agents the task of redesigning this. 4.7 did this, already better, did this, not bad, and did this, also pretty good, I would say. Maybe I should change also the page background color to make it easier on the eye. Yeah, not bad. Also this, pretty good. Then comes with doing that, I give me a second. You need to edit this part. So that's 4.7. Now let's see Fable 5. I would say significantly better. Like, these are usable designs. I mean, look at this. These are really, really nice designs. I mean, my favorite being this one. This is just so good with the text in the background, the nice shadows. I wouldn't say this looks like an AI design. I wouldn't. This just looks really nice. And the prompt was keep it on brand, use the brand overall look, but you have freedom to do a bit more. You have these two images. These are like thumbnails for the videos, and design it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. Then I wanted to compare them to Figma, and oh my God, these are just so bad. This is where you see the difference. Like, I mean, what the hell is this? Like, this is not the same level as this.
Do they let you choose the agent that you can use in Figma AI?
I will show you. By the way, you see how there is a frame here? I didn't take anything out. This is literally, this is what Figma gave me. All of these in a go is what Figma gave me. And I'm like, what? This is really low quality. So here's how it looks. You have this AI thing now. So you have your file, your pages, and you have this agent thing. So you can select something and it gets selected here, which is often annoying because if you select this and say something and then select something else, that gets selected, and you send it by accident. Anyway, so no, here you can't do anything. You can just prompt it. And here there is like access to libraries and nothing else. You cannot even look. If I do a screenshot, I cannot put it in. Like, it can't do a screenshot. Like, paste. No, you can't paste a screenshot. So the way I used it was you know that my favorite Figma shortcut nowadays is Command L. I, you link, you copy whatever you were clicking on that node, and then that's the context, so the agent knows what I'm talking about, and then I give it the prompt. And here my prompt was pretty much identical. I was like, create 5 redesigns of this, and I gave it the exact, like, the links, and for context, this is how it's used, and yeah, and use these images. And so Figma, really bad, I would say, like the worst here, even worse than Lovable. Opus 4.7 did decent. These are not designs that I would use in an finished website, but I would like work with them. And then Fable 5, I would say minimal effort from me to, like, this. I could just give it. I mean, there are like a few things to fix, like the borders, etc. But other than that, I would feel comfortable just giving this to an agent and build it in Webflow. It's that good.
Cool. I mean, we won't dwell on it too much because I want to get to the dev side of things. But like, this is great if you don't. You've got like a rough idea in your head, but you don't have a specific idea in your head. If you had a specific idea in your head about how you wanted this to look, I think that you'd have struggled, or you maybe would have been a bit more specific about your prompt. But yeah, no, I agree. It looks really good, looks really clean, and I'd be more than happy with that if I was trying to design something.
Yeah, I did also more experimentation, but these are very, very raw. So I wouldn't go into them. But at the end of the day, the takeaway is not, oh, Fable 5 is taking your job. It's, I know what a good design is, and I can get a relatively good design out of Fable 5 better than any other model at this point. So if you are a designer, just use it. You probably have a vision, you know what's good, what's bad, and you get this out of it. But it's not like automatically taking over your job. Yeah.
So from my experience, Fable has been really good. Harking back to our coverage of that article where we spoke about Uber looking into cheaper models doing some stuff and Frontier models doing like the heavy duty stuff. Immediately what I did when Fable was released was I went through all of my code bases, little tools here or there, or even client tools, and I got it to review the security, review the architecture of the app, just do a more technical deep dive on the app and output instructions specifically for Sonnet or Opus to implement. So those are the guys that are going to be implementing the code, whereas Fable is the one that really did the deep dive and the rest of it, in particular like security, because that's going to be the thing it's really good at. So like I wouldn't. I mean, you're not going to listen to this for sure, but like I wouldn't necessarily say like every single thing needs to be done in Fable. I think pick your battles and it will go a lot further because you don't need to use it. I mean, heaven forbid, like you don't necessarily need to use Opus for everything. Sonnet is still a really good model and can do a lot of grunt work. So if you are balancing or if you are struggling to get the most out of Fable and you want to use it, choose it wisely. But yeah, so like I'm definitely using it for I've just used it before the show to build out like an outreach app. I just gave it to like auto on, just fucking go build me an app. And I said I'd give you a little cheat hack for getting more out of Fable. Currently, Claude Cowork is double usage until the 22nd, I think. No, 22nd. No, 5th of July. Double usage. I looked in the terms and conditions. It doesn't stipulate that you can or cannot use Fable. It literally just doesn't. It just lets you have double usage. So Claude Cowork, if you didn't know, is kind of a wrapper on Claude Code. You can code with it, you can build apps with it, you can do all of this sort of stuff. As long as you prompt it to it, it will be more hesitant to build an app that when you don't ask it to build an app. If you just ask it to do something, it will just build something that's really not production ready. But if you say, build me a Next.js app, it will do that. And I've built a trading bot using it as well. And you can also get work done just like you would in Claude Chat. I don't know why you'd use Fable just for chat, maybe some deep research or something like that. Saying that, just basically I'm saying do your stuff in Claude Cowork, leverage that 50% extra usage, because Fable will go a lot further with it. So you're welcome.
Yeah. Nice one.
Cool. Anything else on young Fable? Got two more
Not
to go.
really.
You can sit back and relax now. We've got two more to go. So, Prometheus, Jeffrey Bezos has started a new startup with an ex-Google employee called Prometheus, and it's worth already $41 billion. Let's get into it. So, Prometheus is, as I say, this will create a lot of conversation. It's an industrial AI startup led by Jeff Bezos and former Google exec Vic Bajaj. I'm guessing that's how you say Bajaj. It's raised $12 billion in a Series B funding at a $41 billion valuation. Mate, they're fresh out the gate and they're already worth $41 billion. It's interesting because how much of that is to do with the fact it's Jeff Bezos? How much of that is to do with AI? We'll get into that. So, why it matters? It's a massive bet to re-architect how physical things are made. So this is interesting. How he's using. I mean, digital technology is kind of done for, isn't it? Like we said at the beginning of the show, like SaaS is over. Like why people would pay for something why people would pay for something they could just build themselves. They can't build physical things themselves. So from jet engines to medical devices to consumer electronics. And this is what Jeff Bezos said. For example, if you go to a current jet engine manufacturer, as you do, and say you want the exact same engine but with 10% more thrust, it could be a 10-year program. Not because they're lazy or bad at their jobs, but because it's so complex. So what we're doing is building a set of tools that will empower engineers to compress that cycle time down and make that dream build loop be 10 times faster or even more. So it's using AI to optimize pre-production of machinery and processes. They've already got 150 employees working for them, and they're building what they call an artificial general engineer. There's no corporate ties to Amazon or Blue Origin. This is completely separate, but he could be doing the old hokey pokey that Elon Musk does. Blue Origin are hiring Prometheus to build us a new engine. Do you know what I mean? Bezos and Bajaj insist that the effort, if it works, will result in more human engineers. And I don't know whether you saw this interview with Jeff. I think that's it. I don't know whether you saw this interview with Jeff Bezos, but he was like, his bet is that actually there will be more, exactly what he said there, more human engineers. I wonder if I can find it. It's a really interesting Sorry, hang on. Because I am a Financial Times subscriber, boys and girls. So look at me. Let's have a. I don't even think it was with Financial Times, to be honest. I think it was as a YouTube interview. I'm looking for a bit specific. I don't know. Anyway, the point is... here we go. This Jeff Bezos says AI will bring golden ages, not mass. Oh no, sorry, I'm not even sharing my screen. Jeff Bezos says that AI will bring golden ages, not mass job losses. So, and
Okay.
this is slightly off topic, but I do believe, and we spoke about this like last year, that we are struggling to fathom a world. We're trying to place the effects of AI in the world that we currently live in, whereas I think the effects of AI will have unintended side effects of many, many different industries that we just can't predict. And I'm not claiming to be able to predict that, whereas Jeffrey here, he's saying that there will be more jobs, and I've got no reason to disagree with him. Like I think that we will turn to the physical. I've thought a lot about how AI is going to. Where is the future of commerce? Where is it? I think it's going to be in physical goods, which is probably why this AI startup exists, because he thinks the physical. We will be doubling down on physical things, because that's just not what technology can. Well, technology can solve it, but as they're doing in the pipeline. Now, I had something in my brain that I want to get back to, but do you have any initial thoughts?
Not really.
Okay, I had a thought. I might need to just reread the article real quick. I think I've lost it, to be honest. I think I've lost what I was going to say. I get so on tangents that I just fucking forget. Training your own model. That's what I was going to talk about. So this is really interesting because they want to, as they say, let me quote them here. They want to, where is it? Build what they call an artificial general engineer. And I think this potentially could be, we've got some comments as well. This could be potentially a use case for, again, doubling down on more specific agents for specific things rather than having these general agents. Maybe the power and the focus is having literally, maybe they're developing an agent that's literally all about just engineering. Do you know what I mean? All about efficiencies and aerodynamics and construction techniques and all of that stuff. Completely eradicating or pre-training, not pre-training, but post-training and reinforced learning a model that just doesn't have any knowledge of the star constellations or like medical, well, maybe medical, but do you know what I mean? Like just information that does not need. Maybe this is where the future lies, and it's something I do want to look into, is this idea of training models that actually do really well at the thing that you want them to do. So Nick, T-Nick 8201, physical AI is the future of manufacturing. What do you reckon physical AI means? Like robots? Or is it AI that's trained on the physical that helps manufacturing? It'll be pretty easy now. You just need to integrate a doc engine with a world model with physics and text embedding. Well, like that's if you're suggesting, well, I suppose a world model is pretty good, really, to have all of that. That's good for robotics, right? Physical stuff. I don't think they're getting into robotics. However, like you say, a world model would be beneficial if something needs to simulate aerodynamics or whatever. So yeah, taking action in the real world. I have an application that creates work orders from telemetry. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'll be interested to know how they get on, and I'm interested partly from like a futurist prediction standpoint and indications of where these guys see, because they're tapped in, right? They're tapped in on what the current state of AI really is in the behind the scenes. They're banking on physical engineering and stuff. Cool. One last one, and then we will let you go. So Hermes was fresh on. Well, actually, saying that, Hermes was first onto the scene when it comes to OpenClaw and these agents that let loose on your machine and can do pretty much anything that you want them to. Hermes was actually first on the scene. Then OpenClaw came out, and then they were like, hang on, we got something, we're working on it. And then Hermes gets released. And in my opinion, a lot more refined and a lot more well thought out. Saying that, I still use OpenClaw. They've just released a desktop app. And I want to try and share my actual screen. Or even the window. I'll share the window. And it looks pretty darn nice, to be honest. It looks pretty clean. This is kind of it. Can we zoom in? I can zoom in a little bit.
Yeah.
Zoom in a little bit. So you gave me a website to look at, and I gave it a link and, documented it and gave me a content map of it all and output it to like an MD file. Even highlighted that ladies cutting and ladies styling are returning 404s, even though you've got them in the nav. So you might want to look at that one.
Interesting.
Kabarza.
Yeah. Interesting.
Realistically, something like this is, you could ask Claude to do the same thing, right? This is not where the power is of Hermes or OpenClaw or whatever. And arguably, since we've got dispatch and computer use from both OpenAI and Claude, it starts to diminish the effectiveness of these agents. Saying that, this does work. I've got this currently linked up with my Claude Code subscription. You can attach it to pretty much. That's the wrong one. I want to go to. Sorry, I am just learning this tool, so bear with me. You can link it to. Well, we'll go over the pricing in a bit, but you can link it to your news portal, or you can actually just plug into all of your, all of the APIs and things you've got, so they can use all those models and things like this. But saying that, this is open source and they're going to move a lot faster, and to be honest, they're not going to be as beholden to security and stuff like that, which is a double-edged sword, I realize, but you're going to be able to do more stuff on these open source agents than you are with Claude Code, just because they've got restrictions and things like this. And the other thing is actually the gateway thing as well. There's a lot more flexibility and freedom to log it into your Telegram and have Telegram, text this and it will go do something on your local machine. What I like about Hermes as well is that I think, and don't quote me on this, but I think they encapsulate a lot more. You can run these inside of a Docker, which is a lot more safe. Which, by the way, we haven't even spoken about Odysseus. Do we? I don't think we spoke about it last week. I don't think I even spoke about it last week, but I released a video on Odysseus, which is PewDiePie's open source agent, which again does all of this stuff. Side tangent, who PewDiePie is unveiled AI agents to a whole new set of audience, right? There are kids who literally had no idea what AI could do, are now interested in AI agents. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But the point is, a lot more people are interested in AI agents, as I found out in the comments section of the video that I made on it. So either way, they all do one and the same thing. I set Odysseus up with Docker, and it's really restrictive. It's really good for doing stuff that it's linked to through APIs and CLIs and stuff like that. However, it really can't take massive action on your machine. So really nice app. I think let's have a look at the website as well, because I think they're called News Research. I'll ask you what you think of their design. Here we go. We'll start here. This is their design. Aesthetically, maybe you don't like it.
Wait, you're not sharing? No.
Okay, let me go. Aesthetically, you might not be as into it, but there's these little touches on things that are quite nice.
I like it.
You like it? I thought you might not like it, but it's well put together.
It's nice.
You might not like the design, but you might appreciate the. Oh, what's happened here? But it's Yeah, it's pretty cool. The one thing I wanted to show you was they have their own, what do you call it? Well, let me actually share the proper screen. This one. They have their own coding plans, which give you 300 models and
Ah,
rates and whatever. So, and they'll let it roll over. So anything under $10 they'll roll over to the next month and whatever. So they have their own coding plan which you can use with the Hermes agent. So quite nice. But I'm using it with Claude Code, which comes out of my usage credits, which I don't know about you, but I thought 15th of June, or maybe it's 15th of June actually, but we're supposed to get an allowance equal to our subscription in extra usage. But that search that I did to search your website that I run through Hermes cost me not much, but it cost me a little bit, and it took it out of my usage credits. I thought we would be getting an additional bucket to say programmatic usage of Claude.
yeah,
It will
that's
be
how I
taken out of there.
understood it as well.
That's how
Yeah.
I think. I think maybe we haven't hit that date yet, but I have got an email about it. So, long story short, maybe hold off using your Claude Code thing until that's clarified. But all in all, desktop app's really clean, really nice. I'll be doing a video on how to set up local agents with it, so go subscribe to me for that. But all in all, yeah, Hermes
So
desktop agent.
now that you're there, also check the desktop app website page. Just click on the link, desktop
Oh,
app. Just where you are, you see
yep,
in the navigation there is desktop app.
yep.
Click on it. Yeah, that page is
Oh, I
also
see.
quite nice.
Yes. Yeah. That is nice. It's a whole new experience actually. It's got similar. I like this. It's very much Web 1.0 hyperlink blue, and
Yeah,
it's got a slight little parallax on there as well. There was
yeah.
one I wanted to show you. Maybe it was on the pricing page. I think it is on the pricing page, but there's just a
Oh, yeah.
subtle little effect there.
It's a WebGL
WebGL
RGB
thing.
channel
Yeah, just a little
thing. Yeah,
different, you know. I think
yeah,
that's what we appreciate in the age of AI. Just a little bit of unpredictability, a little bit of difference, you know.
yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's Hermes Desktop Agent. Go check it out. I did see some comments here. Looks like similar to OpenWebUI. It's not really like OpenWebUI. OpenWebUI is just a chat. It doesn't take action on your computer. This will do things on your computer. Or open up a browser. It will. I sent my OpenClaw a text the other day saying go on this shop's website and find me all magnesium tablets that are priced £18, you know, and it just gave me a list of all magnesiums. You know, you can text it from afar, and again, it will just use everything. It could even, you might have an app on your computer that or whatever that it will use that app. Like, this is very different to OpenWebUI. So yeah. Um, why are you clicking anything? Because I'm sure
No.
things are just like closing and whatever on my side. Maybe it's my Hermes agent clicking on things. Um, Hermes agent going to replace my job soon. I'm guessing you're referring to something different here, but yeah, it's cool. I like my agents. You're not using any agents, are you, though, Kabarza?
No, I just downloaded the install. I just downloaded the app to
Makes it
test it.
super easy.
Yeah, I was using Claude. What's it called?
Dispatch.
No, the for the automation.
Oh, managed
Uh,
agents.
no, manage agents is for like when you do it as scale, I believe. What
Scheduler.
I forgot. Yeah, yeah, I forgot the
So
name.
many. There's
Anyway,
so many.
yeah.
Like I say, like Claude Code has replaced a lot of what I was doing with OpenClaw, but there are just a few little use cases here or there that I do still like sending it to OpenClaw. Plus, I can bind it to my local AI and or a cheap Chinese open source agent to do stuff. So it's not gonna take away from my credits. Just really depends on flavor of the month, I think, really, or that day even. Pi is killing it in AI. Didn't expect that for a timeline. I don't know what this means. Pi is killing it. Oh, PewDiePie.
Yeah.
PewDiePie. Yeah. Which one is your favorite? Claude, Hermes, or Claude? Depends on what for. Really, heavy duty stuff. Like, because you're talking about harnesses here. Are you comparing the harness of Hermes versus the model of Claude, or are you talking about Claude the harness? Because yeah, like I say, I like one for. Well, it depends. If I want to waste my credits to do a basic search in the background, then I'll probably choose like Hermes or OpenClaw or something like that. Whereas if I want some, I don't mind using my credits and I don't mind using my usage, then I'll choose Claude. I tend to be, Matt Pocock says, like, away from keyboard. If I'm at my keyboard, I prefer Claude. If I'm away from keyboard, I tend to prefer Hermes or OpenClaw, pretty much. Hope that answers the question.
I see my so I was using Claude Cowork schedule, and apparently in the last few days it was not successful, not running successfully for what I wanted to do, because my Claude extension wasn't logged in. So at the end of the day, I'm not really happy with any agent. I haven't found anything really reliable.
I find the browser for Claude is quite hit or miss. It'll be like, sorry, I can't do that. And especially because it does have a lot of guardrails, Oh, sorry, I can't go onto that certain website, I asked it to download a torrent and it said, sorry, I'm not going to do that. Get China on the case. They did it straight away.
Same with building a bomb.
Exactly, right? China will do it. So yeah, try Hermes. See how you get on. But yeah, I'd be interested to know what agent you bind to it, whether you use a cheap Chinese one or whatever. Should we wrap up there then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, that's all we got time for. Thanks for tuning in. Go to CommandAIShow.com. We've got a lovely new website where you can watch old clips and watch old streams and contact us to say hello. Go to insiders.commandaishow.com here to let us know what you want to do. If you were to start a community with us, we're interested in starting a community. We're probably going to have to draw that attention to that to an end soon and make up our mind what we're going to do. So still some time to contact us there. And catch us next week where we're going to chat to you all about in the world of AI design and dev. I hope you enjoyed this week. Don't die.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go play with Hermes.
Mate, I don't know. We don't need to know what you want to do. Keep that to yourself. All right? Jesus Christ. Keep on vibing.